Hello. Hello and good evening. Hello and good evening, and I hope everybody is very, very well tonight. It's time for a bit of a Friday frolic, and if you are interested in watching intelligent political content, you're at the wrong place. I'm sorry, especially tonight. But don't get me wrong. There will be one or two interesting videos that I've managed to, what you could say, managed to acquire, which will be very, very interesting. So anyway, but let's have a look who's on tonight. But give me a quick sec while we get myself all organised. Right, here we go. I'll say, can everybody see and hear me loud and clear? So while I say hello to everybody, hello Stephen Bank here, and good evening. Hope you're well, and good evening to my wonderful daughter. Yes, I've remembered that video that you sent me, and hopefully I might be able to play it. If I can't, I'll sort it out for next week. But anyway, good evening, Mad Monk, and good evening. Wake up and smell the rosemaries. I love that name. I think it's brilliant. Good evening, Simon says, and hope you're all very, very well. So, just wondering. Say, just can you see and hear me? Just, yes. So right, yes. I would just see what it was. I'll just wait. I'll just wait and see what the what I can call it, the old statistics and all that, and it was taking its time to play up. But so I was thinking, am I Jack Jones again? But anyway, good evening, Billy Kershaw, and I hope everybody's very, very well. But anyway, let's. I'm gonna see if I can get that video to work. If it doesn't work, I will sort something out for later on, or try and play it for next week. I'll see what I can do. It's very, very good. But anyway, yes, you can all hear me. That puts my mind at ease. But anyway, let's crack on. Let's crack on with a Friday frolic. I found this very interesting. It's just a little small clip, because what I find interesting when it comes to people from doing TikTok, that they're very, very genius, and there's a little bit in there when it comes to our Hitler. I found fascinating. But let's crack on with this hilarious little bit of fun.
A number of TikTok users have been posting videos that use AI to translate Adolf Hitler's speeches into English. Let's take a look.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats.
Yes, exactly. That's what I found funny about that video. The genius of some people on TikTok, and also you look at our, what do you call him, our Adolf Hitler. You look at his facial expressions, especially if you've got the volume down. You can tell yeah, I know what you mean, Stephen Bank. He makes my face shivers. But you look at his facial expressions and hand gestures, you get the feeling he totally believes everything he says, doesn't he? And also you get the feeling that, you also get the feeling that after how many years of grifting and going down the rabbit hole, you get the feeling our orange maniac, our Trumple thin-skin, starting to believe his own bollocks himself. But anyway, this is a brilliant little clip. And when I first saw this, let's just say, I just thought of my daughter, because I know full well my daughter will love this. And my daughter will absolutely adore this. And you'll understand why at the end, because this is just hilariously funny. As soon as I saw it, my daughter loves this sort of stuff. So, good evening, Ben Shaw. Hope you're very well, and hope you're looking forward to the weekend. And same with everybody else who'll be looking forward to the weekend. But let's enjoy this. All I can say is, what happens if I did what this girl did? I would be creased up, and I probably won't be alive. But hilariously funny.
Step on it now.
So that I chuckled up, because I have to say, if I'd have done that, doubled up backwards like that, I would have probably absolutely done me back in, ruptured my spleen, and been absolutely in a box. But what I will say is, I know my daughter will have enjoyed this, because I know. Oh, you've seen this before? Oh, damn shucks. I was rather hoping you'd enjoy this. But anyway, just a little short and funny one that I knew my daughter would enjoy and find hilariously funny. But anyway, let's get. Now you guys may mock, but we're now going to get to the serious stuff, where we're talking about a very serious, very serious politician that is. What's that, Stephen Bank here? I think I need another moderator or two. I can highly recommend Mad Monk. Now, something I've thought about. Yeah, I'll probably maybe think about doing that, because quite possibly could help me out, I suppose. But if I'm honest, I don't know how many I've got in watching, but I bet it's not that many, but it doesn't really matter. But yeah, that'll be definitely something I think I'll consider. But anyway, now we're going to talk about a very serious politician who's at the Hotel California that is called the Tory Conference, giving the loons and their absolute members, loony members, her absolute pearls of wisdom. Yes, I know it's a human hand grenade, but you may mock. But this woman was our PM, so you need to hang on to every word and learn, because what this woman says is worth listening. Well, maybe not, but what an idiot.
Because much of what you're saying is quite depressing.
Donald Trump might win.
Donald Trump might win, okay.
There we are.
That would really cheer you up. Why do you think? Why would that cheer you?
Yes, it would really cheer me up.
Why would that cheer you up?
If you look at the world over this is what my book 10 Years to Save the West is about. The left have been winning the argument.
Yeah.
Mainly because the right haven't been making the argument or haven't been following through on the courage of their convictions. And Trump winning in America will be a sign that the tide is turning. Mm-hmm. Because at present we have Keir Starmer in London, we've got socialists in Australia, Canada, America, France, Germany. We need to start turning the tide the other way, and this will be the first domino.
But it'll
be the first domino. And Trump is anti-establishment. Yes. You know, the Davos World Economic Forum elite do not like Donald Trump, and I take that as a good sign.
Well, but I mean, neither do the courts or the police or I mean, this is the problem, isn't it? That there are a lot of people in this country and a lot of conservative voters in this country who don't like Donald Trump, and who sometimes hear people on the right, including myself. I quite like Donald Trump. They hear people like us expressing some sympathy, and they think we're weird. Is there a risk that we're hitching our wagon to the wrong star, or is it the other way around? Our wagon to the wrong star here?
Well, I just say, look at what Trump did in office. His foreign policy was much better. He held Iran to account. He took action on Ukraine and Russia in a way that Obama hadn't.
Yes.
He was much tougher on China. But domestically, he did all the things that unleashed the American economy. Supply-side reforms, regulatory reforms, tax cuts, fracking, building oil pipelines, and he made the American economy successful. Yeah, and that is what Biden has been riding off, despite some of his poorer economic policies. So
he's also a protectionist, and you don't like that, do you?
I would say he's a deal maker.
The deal maker.
Trump made deals with the likes of Japan. We could have done a deal with Trump. We could have done a trade deal with Trump. It was our reticence that stopped that from happening, our fear of bad PR that stopped that from happening. But Trump would have done a deal with the United Kingdom. And I hope we'll do a deal with the United Kingdom.
Absolute twaddle. Absolute nonsense. I find it odd that people still listen to this pathetic victimhood anymore. Because you need to realise, all you snowflakey lefties, do you know that over the last 14 years of Tory rule and gruel and attacks on the most vulnerable and welfare, we lefty wokies have held all the power and been winning all the arguments? Yeah, also that utter bollocks about Trump and supporting a convicted felon and rapist. Yeah, really. Is that supposed to be good news? Somebody like that who's in higher office. Did you notice the vacuous grin on her face when she mentioned Trump could win? And waiting for the applause. Also, that rot about doing a trade deal. I think we all know in the chat that is just exactly what it is. Utter rot. There was no chance of a trade deal. I remember when she were running to be leader, and I remember showing my daughter God's last sis. I just remember showing a few clips of her gaffes. I'm sure she might still remember her, and I told her that she will be our next prime minister when she was running for the leadership bid, and she said, "No fucking way." She practically chuckled away in hysterics at her saying that, especially the bit when she said that they will use guard dogs to scare away drones, while in Pali. Remember when we're having them massive load of drones flying all over the place? And for me, all I heard from that waffle was complete twaddle with a hint of pathetic victimhood. Pathetic. But anyway... But what do you guys think? Anyway, good evening, Tone and Howard Kendrick. Absolutely, the art of delusion, and she's deluded. Absolutely. Yes, totally. Yes, you're absolutely spot on. God's last sis. Yes, she is the one that lost to. Well, a lettuce. Absolutely. Yeah, the lettuce was smarter. Yes, it was a lettuce. Cheer up, because she's thick as mince and thinks she's Margaret Thatcher. I've got a little interesting video about Margaret Thatcher and a bit with lettuce Liz as well a bit later on, and it's an interesting little video where they're talking about our Kemi Badenough, and it's yeah, exactly. I'm a fighter, not a quitter. Proceeds to resign the next day. Absolutely, yes. She's just an absolute deluded idiot. But and the thing is, why are they inviting her back? Now, in the video that I'm talking about, Thatcher and all that, somebody said that they should have just banned her from being anywhere near the Tory conference, because I can imagine being an absolute gift for the Labour Party, you know, and if they use her properly, they would do. Good evening, Steve Binning. I hope you're well. Given the shite trade deals that Truss negotiates, and I don't think she has anything of value to say on that subject. Absolutely. Miss Cut and Paste woman. Wasn't she the woman who said that my negotiating tactics to do a trade negotiation with Australia was to basically get him to sit in an uncomfortable chair? Yeah, exactly. Fanny Evans-Jones, good evening, hope you're well. Pork markets. Oh, no, it's that vacuous grin there. I can't do a Nerine Skinner. I'm not in the same league as the lovely Nerine Skinner. Good evening, Duke Vengeance. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the news media either, but anyway. But yeah, she's an absolute crackpot, and I cannot. Still surprised that they allowed this louder anywhere near the conference, because they must be mad to have it anywhere near, because she's just a liability and a gift for the Labour Party if they used her properly. But anyway, from one loon to an absolute to another, and I don't mean the absolute legend that is Jon Stewart. No, we're talking about the Don Mussolini, if I get my teeth in. Our Trumple thin-skinned, our toxic tangerine tornado, yes, our Don Old Trump, where the Daily Show, if I remember rightly, sort of like exposes the nonsense that his supporters say about him. And let's just say, it's... Good evening, Window Man. That is a brilliant line. The tide wouldn't take her out. Yes. Good evening, Tories. Don't get tasered. I hope you're well. But yes, this is just absolute genius. And enjoy 6 minutes of the genius that is our Jon Stewart. He is hilarious. And so enjoy, my friends.
So clearly, what people like about Donald Trump is not his clear, specific policies as they demand from Kamala Harris. But hey, I'm still open. I'm an undecided voter, you know, because the horse kicked him ahead. Let's hear some of Trump's passionate supporters explain what they see as his strengths.
He has really become the candidate of the working man, of the everyman.
President Trump cares deeply about rig workers, truck drivers, roughnecks.
He worked with plumbers and electricians. He worked with painters and bricklayers.
President Trump is the best friend American workers have ever had in the White House.
He's our best friend! Donald Trump is the champion of hardworking men and women. He's behind every kind of worker, from auto to sex. The kind of people... Donald Trump is behind the kind of people who have to work overtime to pay the bills.
I know a lot about overtime. I'd hated to give overtime. I hated it. I'd get other people, I shouldn't say this, but I'd get other people in, I wouldn't pay. I hated.
Yeah, you're right. You shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have said it at all, because you're admitting to f***ing people over who worked for you. I mean, it's funny, but it undercuts the working man's friend thing. Well, yeah, it's fine. You don't want to give them overtime, but it's not like you think it's funny to fire them when they complain about something like not getting overtime.
Well, you're the greatest cutter. I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, do you want to quit? They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike, and you say, that's okay, you're all gone. You're all gone, so every one of you is gone.
I gotta say, every time Trump talks about workers, it's like watching A Christmas Carol in reverse. I just fired these 3 ghosts who were trying to get overtime. So the supporting the working man thing is nonsense. What other things do his supporters like about him?
I think in 65 days, the American people are going to vote for President Trump because they know he's the guy who will defend their right to speak.
We are aligned with each other on other key issues, like protecting freedom of speech.
Okay, I get it now. So it's not really a policy case for Trump. It's a principle case for Trump. The man, no matter what is said about him, he believes in the Bill of Rights, the Constitution. The government should never punish speech, even if you don't like the speech.
Mr. Trump saying publicly the FCC should revoke ABC's license over unfounded claims about ABC News allegedly rigging the presidential debate.
Former President Trump says that he will deport students who participate in pro-Palestinian protests.
Donald Trump said that anyone who criticizes the Supreme Court justices should be arrested and jailed.
Donald Trump earlier today said you burn the American flag, you should get a year behind bars.
During the 2024 campaign, Trump has been, quote, venting about the need to punish late-night comedians for their anti-Trump material.
Isn't being on basic cable at 11 p.m. punishment enough? All right. So we know the policy thing about free speech and the hero of the working class thing are all bullshit. But I'm still undecided. I'm still open. Give me something I could work with.
He's an anti-war guy. He is going to get us out of these endless wars.
President Trump believes that the next 4 years, we need no new wars.
First of all, I didn't know Max Headroom still had a show. But still, anti-war. I'm anti-war. I'm absolutely behind that sentiment.
But if I were the president, I would inform the threatening country, in this case Iran, that if you do anything to harm this person, we are going to blow your largest cities and the country itself to smithereens. We're going to blow it to smithereens. You can't do that.
That's just war with Iran. Middle East doesn't count. We've been bombing them for 40 years. They love it. Okay, forget about ideals. Forget about policies. What are the personal qualities you're voting for?
People just like that honesty of Donald Trump. He tells it like it is.
A man of his word.
He's a truth teller.
Are you f***ing kidding me right now? Are you f***ing kidding me right now? He is a truth teller?
They're eating the dogs.
Oh, and by the way,
they're eating the cats.
Anything else?
They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Of the people that live there. Am I the only motherfucker on TikTok? No? Nobody else? My wife sent me that like 10 times. And so we find ourselves not in a dilemma, but in a bit of a conundrum. The qualities and policies that people profess to be what they admire and love about former President Trump don't seem to be an accurate reflection of said former president. It's as though they've created a fictional character, a bizarro Trump, whose accomplishments and character bear little resemblance to the self-aggrandizing perpetual victim guy he continues to tell you explicitly that he is. It makes you wonder, what country does Donald Trump think he's running to lead?
Our cities have already become hellholes, a crime-ridden, gang-infested, terror-filled dumping ground, bloodshed, chaos, and violent crime. A deluge of illegals pouring in by the millions and millions. Drug dealers, human traffickers, bloodthirsty terrorists, savage gang members, pedophiles, stone-cold killers. You can't walk across the street to get a loaf of bread, you get shot. Teenagers cut to shreds. They'll walk into your kitchen, they'll cut your throat.
See? This fictional Trump, who is portrayed as much better than he actually is running to be president of a country he paints as much worse than it actually is. But I got to tell you, whatever country that is, where families are routinely murdered several times while making breakfast, could really use actual Donald Trump. The rest of us, not so much.
Yes. Oh, yes. Good evening, Alice of Care. Hope you're well. Good to see you. Good to see you. And yeah, nice to see you on one of my live streams. Hope you're well and hope you have a lovely weekend. But yeah, thought Musk and Trump were going to start smooching. I did listen to a little bit, and my God, it was painful viewing. You know, watching Musk practically, basically get down on his knees, and I bet he wasn't far off from tonguing his butthole. It was pathetic. Yes, absolutely, God's lasses. Comedians better start running. Do you think it might be a case of me not to stand too close to windows, or do you think I'll be all right in that department? Good evening, band of harjaps. Is that how you pronounce it? Yes. Hope you're well. Yeah, Trump is a proper working class hero. Sure, Lennon had the likes of Trump in mind when he wrote it. Yeah, absolutely. Certainly. But anyway, I've got a video that basically just reveals it, who he basically is. It's not something that I do normally on a Friday, but because it's a bit of a trigger warning. But it just basically explains who he is. Yeah, Max Headroom line that had me in hysterics as well. Somebody was trying to tell me that Trumpet is a man of peace. Just the other day. Good God, I can imagine you'll have struggled to keep your shit together when you heard that nonsense. Yeah, Tony. Yeah, he was recently calling for a purge. Probably got the idea from those crap movies. Yeah. God knows what he has on his telly. Good evening, Suzanne DW. Hope you're well. Hope you're very, very well. Yeah, there was so much to absolutely unpack there. Because let's be honest, Jon Stewart, absolute legend, isn't he? And he doesn't care about the common man. He just treats them with contempt, does he? And like as I say, I have a bit of a sad video that really shows what a con man he is. All that nonsense about freedom of speech. Well, let's be honest, the only freedom of speech, the only speech he likes to keep free is this speech that he agrees with and that will tickle his tummy, won't it? And if ABC fact check him, don't allow him to spew utter drivel and nonsense, you're out of here in his mind. And support the plight of Palestinian people, off your pop. Anyone takes a piss out of him and be hilarious doing it, like you'd be hung, drawn and quartered if he got his way. So and that dribble about being anti-war, yeah, if you say so. Honestly, Trump wouldn't know how to spell the word honesty, would he? Let alone know what it means if it landed on his lap, and you certainly can't lie straight in bed, didn't you? But anyway, all I can say is, if you think the tangerine screaming Mimi is a threat to democracy and a threat to the world, you ain't saying nothing, because on the other side there is a radical, a horrendous radical. He's radically nice.
Boy, that Tim Walz fella sure seems nice. A little too nice.
Tim Walz's job is to be the Jack Kevorkian for America. His job is to be the assisted suicide doctor, to lean over charmingly by the bedside of America and to give it a fatal injection.
Close your eyes, America. It'll all be over soon. This is the daily showography of Tim Walz. Radically Nice. Sponsored by Trump Vance and Project 2025.
This is genius.
Timothy James Walz had a dangerously folksy upbringing.
My town had 400 people in it, 24 kids in my graduating class, 12 were cousins, 12 were cousins.
He developed a taste for blood from his father and grandfather, who owned a meat locker. And was indoctrinated into communism while working on a farm, where he evenly distributed fertilizer, regardless of which crops worked the hardest. Soon, Walz was recruited to join the National Guard, where he admitted to swindling our brave troops.
I willingly say I got far more out of the military than they got out of me.
Disgusting. That government welfare paid for him to attend an elite Ivy League-style school in the globalist nexus of Chadron, Nebraska. Not surprisingly, Walz used his education degree to get a job teaching America's future enemies in communist China. In China, Walz worked at a Chinese school, teaching armies of Chinese students who were from China. After completing his Chinese brainwashing, Walz returned to the Midwest, where he indoctrinated decent American children with his social studies, forcing them to read textbooks and look at maps.
Disgraceful.
Now safely undercover in Minnesota, Walz married fellow teacher Gwen Whipple. And where do you think they honeymooned? That's right, China. To this day, he still doesn't try to hide his allegiance.
Nimenhama. Happy Chinese New Year of the pig. Gong hei fa zoi.
Walz's sinister niceness couldn't be contained by a classroom. It started bleeding into after-school activities when he took a position coaching football, the same sport CIA operative Travis Kelce plays as part of his Taylor Swift psyop. But it's no surprise Walz ended up a football coach. It was in his blood to crave the touch of dead pig flesh. From there, it was a small step to his most evil act of kindness yet, grooming children to be nice to each other.
They asked if I would be interested in helping start a gay-straight alliance group. You have an older, white, straight, married male football coach who's deeply concerned that these students are treated fairly and that there's no bullying.
But being nice to children wasn't enough for this sicko. He wanted to be nice to a whole congressional district.
I will speak for you. Thank you.
After winning a seat, Walz charged in on day one, just dripping with entitlement.
Holy cow. Look at the door. My own restroom.
Pooping on the taxpayer's dime. You know where else they have government restrooms? China. Before long, this ambitious zealot set his sights on an even fancier place to poop, the governor's office. His opponent tried desperately to warn people.
I think Tim Walz is an affable individual who has a wonderful smile.
But it was too late. Walz seized power, and within days the state was overwhelmed by riots in the streets and a deadly virus from guess where? To no one's surprise, Governor Walz unleashed a fury of radically nice policies. And the nicest of all, free breakfast and lunch for school kids. You know who else gave kids free food? That witch who ate Hansel and Gretel.
A nice
Connecting the dots.
chicken.
Walz transformed Minnesota beyond recognition, even renaming its very roads after bizarre pop stars who would make less confident men question their own sexuality.
This is the coolest bill signing that we will ever do.
Sure, if you like your little Corvettes red. And his dark addictions don't end with pop music. Whether it's fixing cars, coin collecting, butter carving, or owning guns and hunting. Wait, no, skip that one. That's normal. The point is, Walz is a madman who dabbles in elitist predilections ranging from haute cuisine.
I'm a corn dog guy.
To haute couture.
I'm wearing corn dog socks, just to be clear for everyone.
So it's no wonder that when Kamala Harris needed a henchman for her extremist takeover of America, there was only one man for the job.
The most neglected part of home ownership is the gutters.
Drink some water, folks. It is hot out.
The grass is green, the coffee's hot.
We're close to putting the hay in the barn and getting this thing done.
And that's why Tim Walz truly is radically nice.
I think I live the most boring life of anyone you've ever met.
You've been warned. See, yes, if there's anyone living in America, think carefully who you're voting for. You're going to vote for the convicted felon and his donut dodging VP, or cackling Kamabla, and a VP who clearly is radically too nice. Yes. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, yes. Yes. Absolutely Fanny Evans-Jones. Yeah, can we have him as well? Yeah, I'd be quite happy to swap. Yes, run there, walk among us. Yes, Trump the diplomatic pacifist. Exactly, yeah, right. Oh, the shame of being nice. Yeah, exactly. He absolutely, Alistair. Yeah, no, getting past you, he is quite scary, isn't he? I just brilliant. I just first saw that, I thought, I've got to share this with you. With we all know this guy, don't we? He's done some cracking videos taking the piss, and this one is just, I had to share it because I just thought it was absolute genius, and with a bit of a twist, and this is just hilariously funny.
Mr. Former Fake President Girl, sir, you have been critical of your opponent's immigration record. Would you care to elaborate by making up some crazy-ass bullshit?
Crime is down all over the world except here. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it.
Oh, no, please don't.
In Springfield...
Oh, God, he's gonna.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating...
Can someone call me an Uber?
They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country.
You're still talking, don't know why. You say so many stupid-ass things. Ain't it nutty how you lie? Thought we fired you, but oh my God, you're still here. Must we do this year after year? You give me diarrhea. Petty, nonsense, faceless claims. Immigrants eating puppies and geese. Pushing garbage, playing games. Got more tall tales than bankruptcies. Hey girl, you okay? Do you believe a word you say? Can't we stop this charade? Cause we've been trying to ditch you for damn near a decade. Yeah. Is this friggin' guy for real, y'all? Psychologically, he's declined. Sure, his rally crowds are real small, but so is his tiny mind. Had enough of both these whack jobs, baiting the far-right fringe, spouting off on cats and black jobs. Could they be more cringe? And it's gonna be November, and he's gonna demand recounts. He'll start accusing his contender, whose name he can't pronounce.
Kamala.
Got a long list of convictions he simply can't explain, cause he's got a blank space, baby.
Thank you.
And it's in his brain.
Now she wants to do transgender operations on illegal aliens that are in prison.
Chaos, hatred, double speak. I can read you like a MAGA queen. New indictments every week. Dancing around like a jerk, bitch. Please calm down just a bit. You're unhinged, you're unfit, and you can't golf for shit. Oh no. Screaming, sweating, farting, ew. Can sure make a stomach turn. Will he stage another coup? Sorry, Donald, please pardon me if I start to. I'm so tired of this old con. We can't wait till you're gone. Cause honey, you're a schmuck and you sound like a moron. Soon it's gonna be November, and we're gonna get the final say. Better get your act together, or he's gonna take your rights away. Got our foreign rivals rooting, he'd be their Christmas gift, cause he loves Kim Jong and Putin, but hates Taylor Swift. Doesn't care about the law, though. His criminality's off the scale. Send him back to Mar-a-Lago until it's time for jail. I can't wait to cast my ballot. So tired of playing his game. When I see a blank space, baby, I won't check his name. Boy only tells lies about the border. He's got a personality disorder.
Another lie.
Boy only tells lies about the border.
They're eating the pets.
He's got a personality disorder. Is this fucking guy for real, y'all? I'm so bored of his washed up shtick. Sure, his rally cries are real small, but so's his tiny hands. Got himself a fierce opponent. He can't pronounce her name.
Kamala.
I'd rather lie than own it when he gets published. It's gonna be November. Are we gonna vote lies or truth? Don't forget to remember when you're all up in that booth. He's a narcissistic weirdo, unqualified profane.
Excuse me.
Low IQ, hot-headed nut job, an orange fecal stain. Just a crazed convicted felon, unstable, inhumane. Very aching, awkward screwball, idiotic and inane. Giant autocratic toddler, and clinically insane. Cause he's got a blank space, baby.
Thank you.
And it's in his brain.
They're eating the pets.
Please don't.
Good evening, Scott. Hope you're well. Good to see you. I just had to share that with you guys. I just thought you'd absolutely enjoy that. Absolute genius. Oh, some of the lines in there. Where do I find this stuff? I just tend to just have a look around on Twitter, and I say that I find interesting. I will just put it on and usually bring it here, so at least I can entertain you for at least an hour or two. But just absolute fantastic. Oh. Now, you know when we did the video where it was being radically too nice? Here's a fantastic inspirational story that basically I'd get you tissues, because this is quite beautiful and very, very inspirational. You know when you meet somebody who, you know, in your hour of need, you might just so like come out, basically are there for you, you know, cometh the hour. You know, they not only come through for you, they help to, you know, define your future and where you want to go in your life. Oh, I'm getting a bit emotional myself, but it's quite inspirational. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, Scott. Totally agree. The creative people never cease to amaze you, and it shows you if you've got compassion and empathy and all that. Yeah, you always help. But this is a beautiful, inspirational story, and I just think it sums up. Well, I won't go any further, but this is a beautiful story.
When I was in high school, I was one of the Christian kids. I wore Jesus t-shirts, I had a cross necklace, and I was always doodling Christian symbols on my notebooks. I was bullied for this, but I had a teacher that noticed what was going on and put a stop to the bullying. That teacher was Tim Walls. He took the time to encourage me to never be ashamed of who I was or what I believed in. It was then I knew that he would always have my back. Mr. Walls helped me see our country as a place where everybody's welcome, that everybody's voice deserves to be heard. That experience is part of why I became a public school teacher. It's why I work each day to inspire my kids and ensure they feel safe and supported as well. This election cycle, I'm voting for Harrison Walls, because when I needed someone to stand up for me, Mr. Walz was there. And I have confidence that Tim Walz and Kamala Harris will stand up for all of us. When I was in...
Now, wasn't that beautiful? Oof. Oh, thank you, Alice, again. Thank you. But yeah, like I said before, these radically nice people. What a threat to democracy these people are. Disgraceful. But yeah, well, that a beautiful story. It just brought a tear to my eye a little bit. Well, eyes, I should say. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Yeah, totally standing house. So felt both ends of the spectrum. Human kindness is a powerful emotion. Totally agree, Stephen Bank. Yeah, totally agree. But yeah, this is an interesting conversation. I don't know if you many watch or listen to the news agents, and what they came up with a conversation about Kemi Badenoch, where it was basically saying that Emily Maitlis said that there was a senior Tory that came up to me that said that Kemi Badenoch is clearly a Mrs. T, and but they don't know which Mrs. T that they think she will be. And I thought this was a very, very interesting conversation.
One of the senior Tories I was speaking to last night said, and he was, kind of concerned about this, he said, we know that Kemi Badenoch is Mrs. T. We just don't know if that T is Thatcher or Truss. And the trouble that Kemi has, I think, is that she wants to be straight talking, but she doesn't know what her next line is. So as soon as she's interrogated, even a tiny bit, as soon as there's a follow-up question, whether it's on the culture issue of which culture should be allowed to immigrate, whether it's on the question of maternity leave and what should be the right level, she backs off and then she blames the questioner or the media or whoever is then writing it up. And so she has this sort of paranoia of what she's just said, and then does a bit of the Liz Truss thing and tries to sort of turn it on the media. And I think it's not a healthy place to be. I actually think the maternity row has been deeply damaging, not because of what she said about maternity, but because she's gone there and then sort of tried very, very hard to sort of, she's flailing around and sort of hitting out now at everyone.
So I think that you raised the question, is she Mrs. T, Mrs. Thatcher or Mrs. Truss? Actually, I think she's a Mr. T. She is, to Thatcher, she is what Norman Tebbit was to Margaret Thatcher.
I thought you meant the other Mr. T.
I pity the fool. No.
I was getting really excited as well.
No, it's not Mr. T. Honestly, calm down, everyone. We're not into Dukes of Hazzard territory or any of that. Was that Mr. T?
Mr. T is the guy with the Mohican.
Yeah. Oh, right, okay. The thing about Kemi Badenoch is that she's not Thatcher, she's not Truss, but she is someone who was very close to Thatcher. She's Norman Tebbit. She is the one who starts the fight. She is the one who puts the stuff out there, like Norman Tebbit did over the cricket test and who do you cheer for when he was talking about immigrants in the country. Get on your bike and all of that stuff. He does the controversial outrider stuff where Thatcher sort of tucks in behind the argument. And that is why I kind of question whether she can be the leader of the Conservative Party.
I would just say parenting metaphor, you have to follow through. If you're going to make a statement, know that somebody's going to ask you what you mean and be prepared to build a policy on it. If you're going to say some cultures are not worth as much as other cultures, and then you start insinuating, oh, well, these cultures don't like Israel, what are those? What are those cultures? Spell it out and explain to us what your policy involves. She won't do that, and then she runs away and says,
why are you putting words in my mouth?
Yeah.
When it's up, if you say we don't like, a lesser culture is one that hates Israel, that doesn't support the equality of women and supports child, why don't you just say Islam? Because that is what you mean by it. There's nothing else you've got in mind there. It seems to me. Well, I mean, what else could it be?
No, she says she doesn't mean Muslim, she doesn't mean Islam. And so you're like, well, what is the policy you're constructing around this then? Because fundamentally, you're going to have to write that down and give it to a civil servant at some point, right?
When I listen to Badenoch, actually, since Thatcher's come up, I actually think about a quote of something that Thatcher once said about Enoch Powell. where she said that, the problem with dear Enoch is that he's caught in the remorselessness of his own logic.
The newsagents. This is a global player.
Yeah, I just thought that was a very, very, very interesting conversation. If I'm honest. But like I'll say, I know what's I pity the fool. Yeah, so if she, well, she's certainly Mr. T, is she? But who is she? Is she a Miss Truss or a Miss Thatcher? For me, my money is she's a Mrs. Lettuce Liz Truss. Thatcher wouldn't have said any of that nonsense, would she? And then she certainly won't be going after the press after they ask her to clarify the utter nonsense that she's talking about. But I did watch with interest because, let's be honest here, if she wins, you get the feeling she will crash and burn, won't she? And like I say, she could start a fight in a telephone box, and you can tell that she will absolutely crash and burn. And I can imagine, let's just say if she does win the leadership, I can imagine the Labour Party will be going, yes. But what do you guys think? But yeah, let's yeah, let me get this. Let's see this. Right, there we go. I kind of got a little bit. Yeah, watching on my yeah. Come on, I'll get me. I just kind of lost where I was then. Oh, someone somewhere can say so. I think it would all need. Well, on my Gravestein, I want Scott. He was a good man. Yeah, I know what you mean. Never underestimate the power of love and kindness. Yeah, that's our trouble with radically too nice. But yeah, Christ alive, I totally agree. They are insane, aren't they? Yeah, Baracus, yeah. Yeah. Chemical Badcock is the new Disney witch, guaranteed to scare the shit out of all ages, yes. The political system is utterly screwed. Yeah, totally agree. And hello, number 3, hope you really will. I'm looking forward to the weekend. I think the news media and all the dickheads need to stop bigging up people who shouldn't be. Yeah, totally agree. And there's another one who I think they shouldn't have anywhere near this room, because for me, there's nothing about him, and shouldn't be allowed to just spout nonsense. And that is Nigel Farage. He seems to they just bring him on just for the clicks, don't they? Just I'll say something stupid. But yeah, Kemi's desperate to be radical. I feel like she shouts out random sentences. Hopefully something will gain favour and stick. I think you're absolutely right, Fanny Evans-Jones. I think you're absolutely... So, yeah. She's a mistake. More Mad Murdoch than Mr. T. You might have something there, Tone. Yeah, I disliked Thatcher, but Thatcher wouldn't have stood up for this cohort of Tories. Comes to something when I think of Major and people like that as a reason. Well, you get the feeling with them that they had their own ideology. You just get the feeling with these people. Well, you get the feeling that these people don't. They just seem to think that it's just what they think will just carry favour and get them to become, well, I suppose in a way, up the political ladder. But hello. Nobody's Reagan elite. Also, if you're not subscribed to my good friend Reagan Elite's channel, I think you really need to, because this man is a professional, whereas I just find silly videos for us all to laugh at. And this man is a serious live streamer. So please go to his channel and subscribe, because if you want to watch intelligent political content, that's the place to be. But no worries, Reagan Elite. Thanks for stopping by anyway. Honour and a privilege. But yeah, now I've got a couple of interesting videos where I just found them on the hop, and let's just say I found it, what they had to say was very, very interesting. Especially, they're all about our certain screaming Mimi on the other side of the pond. And what I have to say about him is very, very interesting. And all I will say is that if anybody thinks this man isn't a Russian stooge, I think they need to think again.
Trump Casino was hit hard for having violated U.S. federal anti-money laundering regulations. It suggests a culture of willful disregard of the law.
He basically unravels financially. He also was unraveling personally at the same time. His marriage was falling apart.
By that point, he had filed, I believe it was 6 bankruptcies. He had no way to move forward professionally. He couldn't get a bank loan anywhere.
There was a homeless person sitting right outside of Trump Tower. I remember my father pointing to him and saying, you know, that guy has $8 billion more than me, because he was in such extreme debt at that point, you know?
The Russians have a particular type of mark whom they go after. They go after somebody who has business resources, perhaps some shady morals, so that they're amenable to the bribery, or perhaps are in a difficult financial situation, and either has political connections or aspirations. I've just described Donald Trump. He was the perfect mark for the Russians.
The Russians saved him. They rescued him. He would not have gotten back in business without them. I think it's safe to say he couldn't have run for president if he'd just been a guy who was $4 billion in debt. When the Russian mafia does something, it's with Putin's permission, and it's serving his interests.
Have you ever knowingly done business with what I like to call organized crime? Have they ever stopped by?
I've really tried to stay away from them as much as possible. Although I must say, I have met on occasion a few of those people. They happen to be very nice people. You just don't want to owe them money.
Yeah, I understand.
Don't owe them money.
But now,
Semyon Mogilevich, he made a decision to make the move on Trump after studying Trump's 2004 bankruptcy filings. Noticing that Trump had lost his credit lines, they felt he would not be in a position to say no.
Interesting, eh?
Trump Casino was hit hard.
Very, very interesting. I just watched that. Yeah. Yeah, in case of stupid is a stupid does things to make you go, yeah. Very interesting. Anybody who think he's not a Russian stooge, then you're just you're in the cult, aren't there? Hello, Paranormal Channel X. Hope you're well. Just come from Dan's. Hello. Hope everything's well. And first visit. Yeah, honour and privilege to see you here, and hope you're looking forward to the weekend. And thanks for stopping by, and hope you enjoy what you see. About that, I'll say that what this basically is just a bit of a Friday frolic where we'll have a bit of a mixture of taking the rise out of people who shouldn't be taken seriously, and while at the same time sort of like exposing the reason why it shouldn't be taken seriously, and thirdly having people proper take the piss out of these people who shouldn't be taken seriously. But thank you for stopping by. Well, at the moment, look, you hope I have a good weekend too. Yeah. I do plan to. I was hoping to go watch the football, but in the EFL's Infinite Wisdom, they decided to put the game go forward to Monday evening. So I've got to brave the cold weather. So not a happy bunny. You could say I'm a Saturday 3 o'clock type of guy, but never mind. But yeah, well, hopefully have a good week. You have a good weekend too. But anyway, there's a couple of videos here that basically show you who this guy really is. So think of us the same in terms of conspiracies. Yeah, that's an interesting idea, Scott. I think you're onto something there. On something. But this guy, the next two, they explain something very, very well. No, don't worry about it. Paranormal Channel X. Don't worry about it. Just out of interest, is that the name of your channel? Have you got a channel? Because if you do, quite happy to advertise it. Not a problem. Because if it is, I'll probably pop over and subscribe. Because I do enjoy a little bit of paranormal stuff just for interest's sake, and I always find that stuff interesting myself. But this guy, wonderfully, because you get all these clowns on in MAGA saying, "Oh, he was fantastic for the economy." Well, this guy sort of like puts that to bed.
If you're voting for Trump because of the economy, you need to watch this first. There's a lot of misinformation out there about what he did, what he wants to do, and how it's all going to affect us. So I'm going to quickly break it all down so you know the truth before you vote. First is taxes. If you're voting for Trump because you want his tax plan, you already have it. The tax plan we're in right now is Donald Trump's tax plan. It's called the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. It was passed in 2017 and enacted in 2018. And it's set to expire in 2025, which means it's currently our tax plan. And Trump is essentially running on the fact that he would just extend these taxes beyond their expiration date, which means that your taxes now would be your taxes in 2025. Now let's talk about domestic oil production. If you're voting for Trump because you want to produce more domestic oil, we already do. This is the chart of domestic oil production, and if you look to the far right, that's Joe Biden producing more domestic oil today than Donald Trump ever did. Now let's talk about the national debt. If you're voting for Trump because you think he would be better for the national debt, you would be wrong. Joe Biden increased the national debt by 16%, while Donald Trump increased it by 33%. And if you think that's because of COVID, that would be wrong too. Just look at non-COVID spending. Donald Trump's over 10 years would be $4.8 trillion, whereas Joe Biden's was $2.2 trillion. As you can see, in both COVID and non-COVID spending, Trump was 2 times worse than Joe Biden. And last is cost of living. If you're voting for Trump because you think cost of living is going to go down, that's not true either. Trump wants to put a 10% tariff on all products imported to the US, which would cost your family between $1,700 and $2,350 a year, and a 60% tariff on all Chinese goods being imported, which would cost you around $2,000 a year. So all in all, his tariffs would cost you about $4,000 a year. And that is a cost of living expense because these tariffs are going to make products more expensive. Economic consensus is that tariffs make things cost more because they cost the producer of that product more money. And in the end, that cost is passed on to you, which is why Trump's tariff proposals would harm working Americans. And essentially, it amounts to about a $300 billion tax hike on you. And I know all this seems confusing because Trump seemingly had a good first term for the economy, but he inherited a good economy from Barack Obama. The only policy of any real consequence he passed during his first term was the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which we've already discussed is our current tax policy. And all this really did was add $2 trillion to our national debt and mostly benefit corporations and very wealthy people. So I understand the impulse to want to vote for Trump because during his first term the economy was good, but that's missing so much context. We have a very different set of circumstances today, and he would not be inheriting this walk in the park that he did in 2017. And by all accounts, looking at what he wants to do and the economic analysis of it, it's not going to work.
Interesting, yeah, and yeah. I just want to, yeah, yeah. Yes, yeah. It's looking that way. Please definitely see my video from my own non-profit channel, a theory about a conspiracy. Strong stuff. Yes, absolutely. If you're not subscribed to number 3, do subscribe. Please do. Very, very good. You do have one. Right, what I'll do is when this finishes, I will head over to your channel and I will subscribe. And one good turn deserves another. So that's what I will do. Oh, you like synchronized swimming? I'd love to be able to do that. Trouble is, I swim like a brick. Also, I have no timing whatsoever. Yeah, Stephen Bank here. How dare you? Wash your mouth out with soap and water. I get the feeling you don't like football. I'm gutted. I'm only kidding. You like what you like, don't you? Yeah. Wow, I never knew all this about the orange Jesus. Yeah. Thank you, Paranormalex. Yeah. What's not my thing, but I get why you would follow it. Yeah, because like whenever I've seen it in the Olympics, I just think, God, don't they look graceful, and must take hours and hours of practice to get that right and do it brilliantly. You know, and under pressure, that takes a lot. But this woman is absolute brilliant. And see, the thing is, when it talks about, oh, don't say that, number 3. Oh, I'm not having that. No, your channel is not nearly dead. No, I will not have that. Go when you get the chance, go to number 3's channel, like and subscribe. Yeah, so yeah, I know what you mean, Steve. Back here, I'm only kidding. But this woman is absolutely brilliant. You know, we talked about the tax thing in the last video with Donald Trump. This woman brings up, but also she scolds. You know, you get these people who are door knockers, you know, saying who you're going to vote for and all this. This woman's brilliant. I just instantly loved her because I just thought she was brilliant. Techno nonsense from these two clowns.
Hi, I'm Daniel. This is Blake. We're from the Trump team.
Yeah.
We're walking around the neighborhood with people about the upcoming elections, wondering if you have any plans on voting.
I do.
Planning to vote for Trump, we hope?
I'm planning on voting for Harris.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck then. In case, have a good day.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want a rapist or a felon in office.
All right. Okay. I don't know who that would be, but have a good one.
You never read up on Trump? 34 felonies?
Hey, not a single one of those.
We have a good day, man. We don't want we respect other people. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I mean, by all means, he said he wanted to date a 10-year-old in 10 years. He sexualizes his daughter. And you want that man in office?
And you are severely misinformed.
I have video proof. I have video proof of him saying it.
We just want lower prices for the food, man.
Do you know how the economy works?
We know price control's low.
Did you know we're under Trump's tax policy till 2025? I bet you didn't know that. Take your blinders off.
I thought she was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely top class. Didn't take no nonsense. But anyway, don't worry about Caleb Morrisophy. Don't worry about it. You know, I hope you have a good weekend. Nice of you to join us. It's not a problem. but yeah, it clearly shows how ill-informed they really are, doesn't it? And that's the second time I'd heard about Trump's tax policy. So clearly that it's true. And these two absolutely down the rabbit hole, aren't they? And clearly, especially when he says you are misinformed, I think the one who's clearly misinformed is these two bozos. But anyway, like as I said, if you MAGA fans think he'll be good for the economy, and is there for you, utter rot and nonsense. But also, now this is going to be a bit of a trigger warning, but like I say, you get all these Trumpists who think that he cares about the common man and cares about the little people, or the little man, you could say. I suppose you could say little woman as well. Sexist, as Nick Abbott would say. Well, listen to what this guy is saying. Like I say, trigger warning. In a story that he does say, it does have a disturbing end, but what I will say is that, as I say, if you honestly think this guy's for you, basically he says, people ask him, why have you never given him a chance? What story he tells here, what stories he has to tell, and you just think, if you think that this man is there to come to rescue you, you're going to be sadly mistaken. Well, as I say, trigger warning, but it's well worth a listen what he has to say.
So somebody asked me yesterday if I ever gave Donald Trump a chance. And I said no. But you have to understand why. The reason why I didn't give Donald Trump a chance is because I own a company that works with a lot of contractors. Do estimates and whatnot for contractors. A lot of other support for other folks in the industry, but that's enough said. Anyway, what happened was a buddy of mine that was a contractor up in New Jersey called me up one day and said, hey man, I got this opportunity to do this business with Trump. And it's huge, and I think I'm going to do it. And I said, well, I get that you're going to do it, but it might be in your best interest to think that through, because, the honest truth is that dog bites. And he said, yeah, I understand, but I'm going to write a tight contract and blah, 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 So he takes the gig. And he tells me later he's having a little bit of problems getting paid. Fast forward 3.5 years. He still hasn't been paid his $3.5 million. He's been worn down pretty awfully. And Trump's attorneys said that they would pay him $1.2 million. And that was it. He took the $1.2 million. The day that showed up as certified funds, he took the title to every truck he owned. He owned a pretty decent sized company. He took a bill of sale for a bunch of other equipment, generators, arc welders, all kinds of stuff. Ladders, you name it. Jib crane. He went to another place and he sold all of that and walked out with certified funds. He went to the bank. He deposited those funds into the bank. Then he gave a list of amounts and people and companies that he needed to cut checks to. And they cut certified funds to all those individuals. He took those checks, he went down to the post office, he individually sent every one of them out by express mail. And then he went home and he blew his brains out. He blew his brains out because Donald Trump decided to take advantage of the little guy. And he couldn't handle the failure. Fast forward a couple of years later, a friend of mine who is a professional photographer picked up a job for $120,000 from Trump to take pictures of his property. 3 months after it was done, he couldn't get paid. He ended up having to file a lawsuit, and only after the lawsuit was he paid. he still had to spend about $12,000 in legal fees, so he pretty much had to take a pretty big haircut. And another friend I have down in Boca had a father who was in the dry cleaning business. And years ago, he did dry cleaning work for Donald Trump. And Donald Trump never paid him. And he just about lost his business. And he did lose his spirit. And he was never the same. So when you ask me if I'm ever going to give Donald Trump a fair shake, no. Because he didn't give anybody else a fair shake. He has no moral barometer. And you can tell that truth that I just told you. That's true pain that I'm talking about. The people I know are new. You can tell that to people in the Trump cult. And it's like they can't even hear you.
Yeah, it's like what he says at the end, and still can't hear you. It just doesn't matter, but and even after all that, if you still think he's your man, you just can't really save them. Really, they are in a cult, aren't they? But as I say, trigger warning there. It's like I say, but like when these stories are just like really powerful, and let's be honest, it just shows you that he doesn't care about the little man, does he? Remember, this guy doesn't want to pay overtime, does he? So, and if he's still a MAGA fan after all that, he's definitely in a cult, aren't you? But wow, it's just. But anyway, I just found that really, really. But spare a thought for this young lady. Let's get back to why we're here. A bit of a Friday frolic, but I just saw them videos and I just thought they just basically show you the top. Is sort of like just think when our lettuce Liz releases the legend that is our Nerine Skinner, just when the wonderful Nerine thinks she will be released from her purgatory, the human hand grenade just yanks her back into the abyss, you could say. Look at that. Even when she does a Liz Truss impersonation, she still looks far more intelligent than Liz Truss. Looks far more intelligent than Liz Truss ever does. Brilliant.
Liz, is there anything you want to say to the general public? Do you want to apologise, Liz? Have you got a lettuce, Liz? Can you hear me, Liz? Do you think you were responsible for the economy crashing? Is your face stuck like that, Liz? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood, Liz? Do you like ABBA, Liz? Do you like dancing, Liz? Do you fancy me, Liz? Hey, look what's over there, Liz. It's Quasi, Liz. And Donald Trump, Liz. They're all covered in cheese, Liz. Why are you not looking at me, Liz?
Like, remember when she'd walking out after a nonsense of an interview on what they call it in conservative conference, they're trying to get an interview. She's that vacant stare. But yeah, spare a thought for our poor Nerine. Clearly, she wants to move on to pastures new and take the piss out of all the relevant people, but our lettuce Liz just keeps making a complete bell tap of herself, doesn't she? Shows you how uncaring our Liz bodies, Please release our suffering Nerine so she can brilliantly take the rise out of other people, you grifter. Because she's had enough of you. Speaking of grifters, put your hands together, close your eyes, and say a little prayer for these poor, unfortunate con men.
I pray for America, and if I have your permission, ladies and gentlemen,
we ask for consent. That's new.
We'll end with the Lord's Prayer. Just do the version that you know.
Our grifter, who art on rumble, damaged be thy brain. What hath thy done? Thy friends quite dumb, well practiced in deception. Give us this day our daily bread. And by bread, I mean rage, bait, engagement, farming, conspiracy theory nonsense. And forgive us our trespasses. Trespasses including but not limited to historical sexual abuse and wearing tighty-whities, as we forgive those, like Jordan, who clearly don't know the words to this prayer. And lead us not into salvation, but into following a liar who has weaponized spirituality and using long fancy words to try and remain an influential figure despite having nothing of value to offer the world. For lies are his kingdom, his power, and glory forever and ever. Amen.
I pray for America.
Genius. Young lad is a genius. But yes. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I think you might be right, Simon says. Maybe stuff like this I probably could do with a moderator. Never really thought about it that way, but that may be something I probably will have to definitely think about. Because typical Trump business move, he puts so many contractors out of business for many, many years now. Yeah. Well, I've got to admit, Stephen Bankier, I thought he seemed quite genuine with the stories, but yeah, the trigger one and it's a bit crude, possibly. You could possibly rewrite there, but that's about the little people as individuals mean naff all the corporation. Yeah, you're probably right. Does JD Vance have any chance? I've got an interesting daily, what call it, daily, I've forgotten what they call them now, but video where they go over the debate. That's quite funny. Our dizzy lettuce Liz is a loony lump. You're not wrong there. Yes. Yes, Duke Vengeance, yeah. Better pray to his gods in case I catch hold of him. Yes. The guy was just brilliant. Made me chuckle. Now, this is fantastic. Let's go back to a bit of the Tory bollocks that is our honest Bob. You know, where he opens he's at the moment where he's suffering from that bad illness called foot and mouth. He opens his mouth and he just puts his foot in it and just talks utter bollocks. And, you know, when he's talking about, you know, killing terrorists and stuff like that, this and that. Well, our Bishop Hussein decides to hold him to account and watch him squirm. Absolutely. Yeah. I possibly. We'll think about that, Steve Banker. Yeah, it's probably something I will actually do. Yeah, but she proper holds him to account and watch him squirm.
You did say our special forces are killing rather than capturing terrorists. So you think or know that's happening now?
Well, Ben Wallace, as you rightly quote, said that there are...
This is about what you say. You said yesterday
I'm
our special forces are killing rather than capturing terrorists.
Yes, the point that I was making, very much like our former Defence Secretary was making, is that as a result of the constraints imposed upon our armed forces by the ECHR,
we are killing rather than capturing terrorists. Do you know this has happened or this is happening now? Because you stated it in very bold terms in that video.
Well, the point that Ben Wallace was making, if I may just elaborate, was that there are instances where the ECHR is forcing or leading the decision makers to take lethal action. You could have said that in your video. For example, by calling in... Let me just finish the point. This is an important one.
But this is what
by
you
calling
said
in a drone
video.
strike.
You reduced that to a very specific and stark phrase. You said our special forces are killing rather than capturing terrorists.
Michelle,
I just want to be clear.
I think
those were your words in that
Michelle,
video.
I think
Do you
this
know that is happening?
This is a very serious and stark situation.
Is this
because,
happening?
for example,
are our special forces doing this right now?
Well, there are, as Ben Wallace has said in that interview, decision makers are being asked to make decisions which they might not ordinarily make. For example, to call in a drone strike and take lethal action in that way, rather than a surgical action where special forces might go in on the ground.
Are you accusing our special forces now? You use the present tense. Are you accusing them of killing rather than capturing terrorists? Why did you say these words?
I'm defending our armed forces. What I don't want to see is our human rights apparatus impacting the ability of our armed forces to take the most sensible decisions for their own safety and for the safety of the British public.
More carefully in this
No, I don't agree.
So you stand by the words that our special forces are killing
I don't agree,
capturing
Michelle.
terrorists.
The point I was making was absolutely correct and is backed up by the interview that was given by our former Defence Secretary.
You can't back up now that our special forces are killing rather than capturing terrorists.
Well, Michelle, of course I'm not going to elaborate on particular cases because these cases are not things that any minister or foreign minister can speak.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, slimy Bob degenerate. Absolutely, totally agree. Totally agree. But yeah. So it's a good idea to have mods. But yeah, so you'd be happy to do it then, Mad Monk? Yeah, then we'll see. I think I'll see if we can organise something because when it comes to stuff like other people's channels, I think it's something to say definitely consider. But yeah, I think that's something I'll probably will have to do definitely. So yeah. I'll see if I can get in contact with you, Mad Monk, sometime. Next day or two, or maybe later on, But we'll see. That's become the most hated idiot in Westminster. Surely this is sackable. Interview. Yeah, Starmer should ask for an investigation at the Parliament and tell him to produce evidence. Yeah, I totally agree, Alistair Kemp. Yeah, because let's be honest, he's just basically pandering to his the members, the absolute wacko members, and yes, God, yeah, he does have that Play-Doh face. He's got one of them faces where, well, I suppose if you're brave enough, you grab hold of his cheeks and go. Yeah, at least you can share your knowledge and benefits as a moderator or two, and with the channel. Yeah, it's probably something I will consider. I think what it is, because a lot of times I don't write a lot of live streams, but with good afternoon, good evening to Larry. I do hope that our Prime Minister is respecting the hallowed halls of Parliament and Number 10, and and is not taking the ride. But yeah, I'll see what I can do, my daughter. Don't forget the funny video. Yes, I'll see what I can do. I've managed to save it somewhere. Now, if it doesn't load, I'll definitely try and sort some out for next week. Definitely, if I can. But yeah, Alistair, yeah, put me down too. Oh, cheers for that, Alistair Kemp. Yeah, I think I'll do the next Tory leader. I don't know. So, because I've been hearing a lot. I don't know. Say I don't know, because I have a funny feeling coming out on the outside is James Not So Cleverly, the walking oxymoron. Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, yeah, cheers for that, Stephen Banky. Yeah, he's buggered off on a jolly over at Brussels. Yeah, typical, getting all these freebies, disgraceful. Speaking of freebies, he didn't, what you call him, our honest Bob, he didn't get much change out on Good Morning Britain. It's like, now, here's my view on when it comes to these donation stuff. I think there's an argument to be had, but the one thing I do detest is people with a fake outrage. Disgraceful behaviour by the opposition party, and then they're doing it themselves. It's pathetic. And let's just say he don't get any change out of ITV either.
The £75,000 donation that you have received through this company, Spot Fitness, are you absolutely confident that you know where that comes from and what the person who gave it wants in return?
Yeah, look, absolutely. It's normal for companies as well as individuals to donate to political parties and campaigns. If you stand for leader of any party, you have to raise money. We don't want the taxpayer to be paying for these things. This is a donation from a British company with British shareholders. The businessman behind it has made himself known. It's a sports fitness business, and we've we've registered it in the correct legal manner. And so there's nothing improper here at all.
Okay, a company that has no employees, has never made a profit, has more than £300,000 worth of debt, and in January registered a loan from a company registered in the British Virgin Islands. But you're saying nothing to see here.
Well, this is a startup business, which is, as I understand it, developing an app for sports fitness, and it's a perfectly legitimate business. It's very normal for political parties and campaigns to take donations from companies. That happens all the time, and it's right that we do that, because I don't want to live in a country where the taxpayer is funding leadership campaigns or political parties. That's not right. So we have to rely on legitimate individuals and businesses to come forward and support political parties. And I think that's part of the political process. It's actually part of public service as well.
Okay. Surprising they've got no employees. I mean, none. What is it?
Is it something you've asked, Robert Jenrick?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have asked. I've met the individual behind it, and he's put out a statement saying that it's a business that's creating an app. It's a startup business. He wants to support me because he agrees with some of my views, for example, on immigration. Millions of people across the country support what I'm standing for here, which is controlling our borders, ensuring we finally get a grip on the mass migration that we've experienced for many, many years. I'm pleased that, as well as party members, individuals who want to make private donations, the public are getting behind this campaign.
Absolute. Look at that slimy little grin he's got on his face there. Is that... No, that's like... I've heard this before. They say, well, I'm sure that the public won't want their taxes used to fund political parties, and I probably think that they wouldn't. Maybe they would, I don't know, but I just find the fake outrage that, oh, look at the cronyism of Labour, and they're doing it themselves. You just think, oh, come on. It's pathetic. I just think you either do away with donations and change the rules and do away with it, or just shut up about it. Because they make themselves look stupid, don't they? But those are my thoughts. But it's like, I know there are people who, in my view, that are dead against donations, and for the quite wrong, because they do believe in it. But you see these people who are just using it for fake outrage, and it's quite really. But yeah, Yeah, absolutely. After robbing the taxpayer out of millions upon millions, not so honest Bob. And it'd be off painting over Disney pictures. Yeah, absolutely. The private donations should pay. Yeah, absolutely. As they can. Yeah, taxpayers should pay. Get the private donations, etc. out of politics. Yeah, because I've heard it mentioned a few times. Because I know Wes Streeton said the same thing with Dale Vance, and he's mentioned about that. I'm sure that he's wearing earrings. Yeah, but and he's just said that I'm not so sure that basically that the general public will be happy with they'll be happy with their taxes funding political parties. So it's an interesting conversation about, but I just think just do away with a fake outrage, especially if you're doing it yourself. You know, do as I say, not as I do type attitude. This is why Parliament needs to be modernised. All these antiquated systems go back centuries, and when MPs were paid top professional salaries. Yeah, because like I'm trying to think who it was now. That's it. Yeah, I'm sure I heard somewhere. Now I could be wrong. That when Neville Chamberlain was Prime Minister, and he if he were Prime Minister now, what he was earning then would have sort of equated to £800,000 a year. Now, I've forgotten how much it is for a Prime Minister for these days, but I don't think it's anywhere near as close, is it? So I think you're onto something there, Scott. Yeah, it's Larry. I've seen more honest-looking estate agents. Yeah, I won't buy birth control from not so honest Bob. It's guaranteed to be used. Oh. They're all selling us a pup. Yeah, Westminster needs complete reset. Yeah, smaller government too. I suppose there's always an argument to be had on that. And a party full of multimillionaires still beg for money. Good evening, Paul McSullivan. Get the teeth in. And yeah, that's an argument. Yeah, moved out and those pesky human rights, absolutely. But yeah, that was down to our honest Bob. But anyway, now I'm just asking. I'm just asking. Did anybody watch the VP debate live? Now, I didn't decide to watch it because it wasn't something that I was that too fussed about. But I did see a lot of people saying that they were very disappointed with Tim Waltz and felt he missed a trick and made Shady Vance look quite normal. Now, the thing is, I did actually watch it later on, the full debate, but I came across this brilliant little take from the Daily Show, and it's quite hilariously funny and it very, very interesting. You know, you did, yeah, from what I've heard, it was ho hum. Yeah, I did hear a lot of, Shady Pants looked almost human. From what I watched it, it was interesting. But this is good take by the Daily Show. Very, very funny.
After all that preparation, the debate finally began at 9 o'clock. And right off the bat, there was a big difference between these guys and Trump's debate with Kamala, or Trump's debate with anyone. These guys seem to actually get along.
You're going to hear a lot from Tim Walz this evening, and you just heard it in the answer. A lot of what Kamala Harris proposes to do, and some of it, I'll be honest with you, it even sounds pretty good.
So the rhetoric is good. Much of what the senator said right there, I'm in agreement with him on this.
Governor Walz and I actually probably agree that we need to do better on this.
I believe Senator Vance wants to solve this.
I agree with you. I think you want to solve this problem.
I agree with a lot of what Senator Vance said.
I actually agree with Tim Walz.
Wow. Maybe you two should run together. Yeah. Maybe a date? It seems like you have a lot in common. Hello, CBS, it's Tim. We're going to share an Uber home. But seriously, to see two candidates being civil with each other, even though they disagree, it was surprising. And personally, boring as shit. I mean, talk about something interesting like who's going to eat the cats. Nobody's going to turn any of these sound bites into a TikTok. That's not to say the whole thing was cordial. There was one moment where things got so heated
Sorry, butting, but I'll just say thanks for stopping by Paranormal Channel X, and yeah, I'll definitely I'll go to your channel and I'll subscribe. And same with you. Have a good weekend, Alistair came and stop, and thanks for stopping by, and have a good weekend. Have a good weekend. But anyway, let's get back to this.
Moderators have to take matters into their own hands.
Well, Margaret, but
thank you, Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think it's important because
we're going to turn out of the economy. Thank
Margaret,
you.
That is the facilitation of illegal immigration, Margaret, by
Thank you, Senator, for describing the legal process. We have so much to get to, Senator.
The
we want to have.
app has not been on the books since 1990. It's something that Kamala Harris created, Margaret.
Gentlemen, the audience can't hear you because your mics are cut.
Okay, now, that's within the rules, but it did seem like they kind of enjoyed it. No, no one can hear you because we cut the mics. Speaking as a voter who's been watching this campaign for like the last 200 years, this might have been my favorite moment. If Nora and Margaret could offer everybody in America a button that mutes politicians, we would elect that ticket. Now, for a lot of America, this debate was the first introduction to the VP candidates, and we learned a lot about their positions. Like, Walz had this droopy dog position, and J.D. Vance had this position. But they both surprised me a bit. For example, when talking about immigration, Walz quoted a book I didn't think Democrats had ever read. I guess it's called the Bible?
I don't talk about my faith a lot, but Matthew 25:40 talks about, to the least amongst us you do unto me.
Wow, Tim Walz has really stolen every Republican shtick. You know, he's folksy, he's into cars, hunts, quotes the Bible. You know, what's next? He's going to find out he's the webmaster of nudeafrica.com. And we learned a surprising thing about Vance as well. He does support diversity in certain circumstances.
Let the individual states make their abortion policy, and I think that's what makes the most sense in a very big, a very diverse and divided country. We can be a big and diverse country where we respect people's freedom of conscience. Donald Trump has been very clear that on the abortion policy specifically, that we have a big country and it's diverse.
Yeah. Okay, you see, America, Republicans do support diversity. Some states believe women should have rights, and some don't. It's the beautiful tapestry of America. Now, if you remember, Tim did tell Kamala he was a bad debater. And there was one moment in this debate when I said, yeah, he is. Fact check, true.
You said you were in Hong Kong during the deadly Tiananmen Square protests in the spring of 1989. But Minnesota Public Radio and other media outlets are reporting that you actually didn't travel to Asia until August of that year. Can you explain that discrepancy?
All I said on this was I got there that summer and misspoke on this. So I will just, that's what I've said. So I was in Hong Kong and China during the democracy protests went in. And from that, I learned a lot of what needed to be in governance.
Damn. You know you're blowing the Tiananmen Square question when you look more nervous than the dude staring down the tank. If you didn't like that joke, here's a QR code you can scan to get a refund for this portion of the show. Thank you. You don't know how much time we spent on those QR codes. So now Vance, on the other hand, to his credit, did a great job in the debate. He was smooth, he was confident, he was prepared. The only problem he may have had was his memory.
Donald Trump's economic policies delivered the highest take-home pay in a generation in this country, 1.5% inflation, and to boot, peace and security all over the world.
Peace around the world. There wasn't even peace in this country. The only time there was peace was when we were all locked in our house cleaning our vegetables with Clorox wipes. Wipes I stole from my neighbor and sold them on eBay, which did increase my take-home pay, so thank you, Donald Trump. Now, so what did we learn about tonight? Well, first, let's be honest. 99% of voters will not care about the VP debate. That's a fact. If you want to check it, you can scan this QR code. We had to do one more, which will open up your internet browser, and you can Google it yourself. I'm busy. I'm hosting a live TV show, okay? But aside from that, the thing I took away from this debate was that both of these men, they made the Midwest proud. All right, this debate was an oasis of Midwestern nice. And just like Midwestern nice, it was a mask covering deep-seated hatred and resentment. Don't let 90 minutes of them in a room together fool you. These men represent two movements that are at each other's throats, and their visions for America are radically different. So tonight might have been all, I agree, and my friend has a point, but tomorrow morning, we're all going to be back to this.
We're not going back! We're not going back! Suck my Suck my
Yes, I think he's absolutely true. Yeah. But yeah, good evening for Laffle. Don't worry about it. You know, yeah, I'm very well. Hope you're very well too, mate. And I hope yeah, getting ready. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. And yeah, Vance should be honest and go back to the original views on Trump, and then fuck off into the mountains and never be heard of again. Now I'd buy that for $1. Vance was bitching about being fact-checked. Yeah, I think. See, the thing is, what I took from it, one thing, when I heard that they weren't too impressed, my first thoughts were, oh, this could have been a bit of a disaster. But when I watched it, I quite enjoyed it. When I did get to watch it, I quite enjoyed it because it wasn't, you know, everybody's at each other. Now, for other people, they'll find that interesting. I don't really. After a while, I tend to just switch off. It's like, and there were people who were saying that maybe Tim Walz has had his, you know, he has that natural presentation, the way, as you know, he just seems to look natural, though his natural personality had been trained out of him, media trained out of him over the last few days. And they were saying he missed opportunities to call out Vance's lies to a point where he made Vance look quite normal, more normal than weird. But as I say, I enjoyed it, and from what I've heard, I don't think it really affected Waltz's positive ratings, and I don't think it made any difference at all. Right? And see, the thing is, when they ask a question about what that on Tiananmen Square, I just thought, what's the point of this? Now, I was a bit mystified when I did watch it, and I'm thinking, am I missing the point here or something? I just thought, well, what's the point of this question? But judging by what I've, but I say I might be wrong. If I'm just let me know down below. But the bits that I do think did get the most attention from what I've seen is the moment Vance got fact checked and then he had the mic cut off him. That was just hilarious. The thing that I found hilarious, you know, he refused to say that Trump lost in 2020 and found it funny that for the most of the hour and a half, he spent most of the time talking about Trump's presidential achievements from in the past, and then when it came to what happened on January 6th and whether he lost the election, which our Donald Trump has still to this day been saying that he didn't lose. He wants to talk about the future. How strange. I wonder why. What do you guys think? I just thought that was just... as I say, it was something I did enjoy. But anyway, like as I say, when it comes to Tim Walz, do you think he should have exposed our JD Vance as good as what this guy did? Sit back and enjoy, my friends.
I'm Ohio Senator J.D. Vance. The mainstream media, they want you to think that I'm weird. They call me creepy, cringy, awkward, that I give people something called the ick. They want you to think that I can't order a simple donut. But that's ridiculous. Follow me. Hello?
Hi.
Okay. How long you worked here?
A year?
Okay. Donut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which donut, though?
Just whatever makes sense. No pickles. Hold the pickles.
Oh, well, no, I can get that for you.
The Democrats say I don't know how to talk to people, but that is just not true. Hello, worker. May I sit? Sure. So, how long you been black? I smell pregnant woman. Hello, ma'am. When do you spawn?
That's none of your business.
And you, sir, you must be the father.
I'm 9. Please get away from her.
Yes, I think that's how we should have exposed him. Yes, for being weird. But, oh, yes, I think he could quite have easily missed a trick. Should have exposed him for being like this. I have to say, let's have a bit of a comedy moment. Remember Mr. Chumley Warner, Association Football Part 2. I think this is how football used to be played. I remember the days when I was a kid going down to Bradford City, we were in 4th Division, fighting in the middle of the pitch, and then as you know, everybody's lying up with broken bones or whatever. You got the referee going over to the, are you all right? Right, play on, and you know, players injured and whatnot. Mr. Chumley Warner, I saw this and I just thought it was hilariously funny.
The only glimmer of hope for the Gunners is when they get the ball out of Finney on the wing. What's he going to do with it? Well, exactly what he was doing earlier. I think that's all he can do with it. So, 10-0 at half-time, Liverpool go back to the dressing room, but for Arsenal, it's some light refreshments. And for the crowd, top-class half-time entertainment with the man they call Mr. Banjo, Mr. George Banjo. And the crowd found that most pleasant. So the second half, and Arsenal must have taken a stern talking to because they've come out with a markedly different approach to the game. That's how it's lingering out. The whistle blows. Shot for goal. Is the ref going to allow that? Yes, it's just over the line. And Liverpool have suddenly taught Ned Nuthouse how to celebrate. Nuthouse's goal inspires the rest of the team. Goal.
look like reasonable goals to me.
Some of the Liverpool players are a trifle unhappy about that, and the referee's taking out his little black book. It's the Shorter Oxford Dictionary. He wants to look up what some of those words mean. Well, he's found one, and he's bringing on his mother to disprove it. 10 all, minutes go. Charlie Charles waiting on the wing.
Off Charlie Charles.
It's almost as if the ball was glued to his feet. Heads up, and it's all over. And a sporting finish to a sporting contest.
Oh, I always loved Chumley Warner. That's just that type of football, and reminding me of the old 4th Division when it came to going to Valley Parade. Yeah, I know what it's Scott. Thanks for stopping by. Up to see you politics. So thanks, DB. I was gonna, yeah. Well, we'll see. I've got 1 or 2 little errands that I need to do. So if I get them done, I'll possibly I'll pop on. So, but yeah, I've seen a few of the Harry Enfield bits, and I remember watching them as a kid, and if I'm honest, I've forgotten how funny some of them were. Oh, this is well worth a watch. This is from the Daily Show again, but this is Triumph, the insult comic dog. Now, this is first time I've seen this, and this is just absolutely priceless, absolutely brilliant, and you've got to watch for the end. This is absolutely top draw.
Welcome to the 2024 vice presidential debate. The debate between one man who thinks Trump is a mentally ill fascist psychopath and Tim Walz. It's a great battle between J.D. Vance and what he'd look like after 4 years as Trump's vice president. Tonight marks the 3rd debate of this election that Joe Biden will sleep through. And as you can see, the atmosphere in the spin room is electric. Shh. Quiet, everyone. The debate is just about to start. And here in the spin room, there's a palpable dead silence that one can only compare to the sound Melania makes when Donald Trump is inside her.
So there's an application called the CBP One app, where you can go on as an illegal migrant.
So far, the candidates have been quite civil and respectful to each other. Yes?
I agree.
Boring!
And nobody knows what it actually costs.
How you doing? What do you think so far?
Very substantive.
Substance, I know. I want to turn to the show about the Menendez brothers. These guys have much more chemistry.
For all of us here at CBS News, thank you and good night.
A lot of people are reacting to the debate. Rachel Maddow said it was a slam dunk for the Democrats. But Mark Robinson said the video was so boring he couldn't even finish. I'm here with Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. Everyone loves Tim Walz, right? He's so cute with his round face. He's like a Cabbage Patch adult.
On the one hand, a guy who's got real heart. On the other side, you got a guy who's, frankly, we're concerned might be eating a dog's heart. And so I'm worried about you.
You know what? I was concerned about you, I have to be honest. For a second, he looked at me like I was a chocolate eclair, I swear to God. How do you think Tampon Tim did?
Oh, I remember he did in the boys' room.
In the bathroom.
Why did he do that?
Here's what really doesn't make no sense. If he's okay with putting tampons in a bathroom, what's his big problem with installing a couple of douchebags in the White House? Problem with Trump? This is legendary. Senator and former astronaut Mark Kelly. As a former astronaut, do you have any plans to reveal the name of J.D. Vance's home planet?
You know, that stuff's classified.
If he just doesn't try to get caught up in how big the moment is. Yeah, it's a big moment.
Something's funny over here.
This is brilliant.
I smell pills and cocaine. There we go. I'm waiting to talk to the great Senator Katie Britt, whose post-State of the Union speech last January is now considered a Halloween holiday classic. Don, how do you feel about J.D. Vance? Is it hard to see your dad ignoring someone besides you?
was genius. Oh, dear. Yeah, he was absolutely brilliant.
Exclusive interview with the former...
Oh, dear, that was funny. Oh, this is interesting. Now we've all seen the latest story about our Laura Kunzberg, however you pronounce it, somehow magically, without realizing that she had emailed Boris Johnson the question she was going to ask him in the interview. My personal thought is that she knew what she was doing, and I get the feeling that she was going to be found out, so that's the reason why she came out with it. And I think she was going to be called out for it and exposed for doing it. That's my view, but anyway, no proof. But we all... Laura Clogbog. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, should be fired. But yeah, our Matt Green. Genius that is our Matt Green. Take it away, my good man.
Tonight, we have an exclusive interview with the former Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, who will be discussing his new book, Unwashed, Unbrushed, Unleashed. Now, just before we start, a small confession. Last night, as I was prepping for this interview, I did accidentally send Mr. Johnson all of the questions I was going to ask in advance. Obviously, very embarrassing. I don't know how it happened. You know what it's like when you accidentally reply to the wrong email thread. The point is, I was going to cancel the interview, but I've been convinced to carry on anyway, so I guess we'll see how it goes. Hello, Mr. Johnson.
Hello, Boffy. I bet you're feeling a right turnip now, aren't you? Reminds me of the time you accidentally gave me the answers to a test back at Eton.
Yeah, because you threatened to beat me up if I didn't.
Great days. But don't worry, I didn't read anything you sent me in advance. I never read a briefing document. That's what made me such a great PM, you know?
Hang on, are those notes?
It is, just some facts and figures, you know, nothing to do with your questions.
Right, question number 1. Did you really talk to Prince Harry to try and convince him to stay in the UK?
Yes, it was awful. I nearly died.
Okay. Now, you say in the book that getting COVID was a terrible experience.
Well, I said to my team, let's make it look like I'm serious, but they knew it was just a bluff.
Wow. So you also talk about how a no-deal Brexit was never a realistic prospect.
I mean, I did my best, but in the end it was hopeless. Whatever I said, he was going to America.
America? Okay. Now, you claim that COVID was probably made in a lab by China. Where's your evidence for that?
Well, 5 years of research, and I've always been a huge fan.
What?
If I had to choose, I'd probably say Hamlet.
I think you might have your notes in the wrong order.
What? I don't know what you mean.
What would you say to the people who lost loved ones in the pandemic?
Forgive me. Forgive me.
Is that an apology?
What? No, I should never have apologised.
What about for Partygate?
Well, I never saw a party, or a gate, or a cake. Just give me a minute.
Mr. Johnson, is this not a great example of why you were unsuited for high office? You can't even keep your notes in order for an interview.
Peppa Pig, Hands Face Space, Hasta la Vista, baby, Et tu, Rishi, vaccines.
Mr. Johnson?
I'll invade Holland if I have to.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Call me Boris.
Not here.
Absolute genius. I'll say we're into the home straight now. You've heard of the legendary film called Forrest Gump. Now, this is Forrest Trump. This is the follow-up, the sequel, Forrest Trump. And it's absolute genius. You'll love it, I'll say. Couple of videos left and then that's it. And hopefully I'll get that. Hopefully I'll get that video for my daughter. But this is genius. Get your popcorn out and watch this absolute masterpiece of a film called Forrest Trump.
My name is Forrest Trump. For 60 days prior to an election, the DOJ is supposed to do absolutely nothing that would interfere with the case. They disobeyed their own rule in favor of complete and total election interference. I did nothing wrong. The case is a scam, just like all of the others, including the documents case, which was dismissed. But you like a chocolate, they are $8,000 each. It's funny what a young man remembers.
Donald Trump, you little idiot. You're different from other boys. Different.
Your boy is stupid.
Are you stupid or something?
Actually, I am like pretty smart. My uncle is a professor at MIT. I had bone spurs, what can you do? Whether now the fully debunked Russia, Iran, Ukraine, 52 intelligence agents spying on my campaign, impeachment hoax number 1, impeachment hoax number 2, or any of the other scams is illegal action taken by the Justice Department, including their raid on Mar-a-Lago for a case that was dismissed. Well, then just like all of the others, with complete victory for President Donald J. Trump, make America great again, that's all I have to say about that. I sure hope this boat has a battery, because if it suits and I have to choose between great white sharks and a boat battery, I can tell you right now, I am choosing the battery. Now, you wouldn't believe it if I told you, but I could run like the windmill blows. Does kill birds, by the way.
Who in the hell is that? That's what I was saying. There's that stupid guy who runs.
I never thought it would take me anywhere.
We got a runner.
I almost made it to the 20-yard line. I got to meet a president that day. I gotta pee, but enjoy the show. Life is like a box of chocolates. Kamala Harris is gonna take your chocolate. If that's all I have to say about that, unless you want me to say more, I can weave this all into like 10 different stories.
Whoever made that, genius. Absolutely.
Really hate that sad loser, Mr. Newberger.
Who, me?
Yes, Mr. Newberger. Genius. Well done, my good man. Absolute genius. Unrealistic. Too fat to run. I think it could be on there, onto something. On Fat Boy Run. Right, let's see if this will work. Not sure if it will. But as I say, this was the final one. Let's see if it will it work?
Health isn't someday in the future.
Not really. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, no. Never mind. It was well worth a go. What I will do is, it's getting late now, and I'm sure you'll all be wanting to head off to watch the professionals, whether it's Ed Thompson and getting ready to watch the likes of Reagan Elite and Max and Graham later on. So what I will do is I'll make sure that, especially for my daughter, because she the computer says no, unfortunately. So, and I'll make sure that this will be the first one for my daughter. Yeah, I understand. And so I know you sent me it earlier on, but I just didn't sort it out onto my Twitter account, unfortunately. So what I'm going in the bath soon. My knees are killing me. I hope we get better soon. I know what it's like when you've got dodgy knees. So anyway, what I will do is I will make sure that this will be the first one. This will be the first one for next Friday Frolic. And also, I'm thinking of, when Parliament comes back in, I'm thinking of doing a few more live streams. But, you know, when it comes to watching the what do you call them? The select committee meetings, because there's an interesting one on, I think it's either Monday or Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday. And I might decide to do it as a bit of a live stream. It's like, when it comes to some of the select committee meetings, some of them really good, but when it comes to the topics that they use, they're not the most interesting, and making videos out of them, it can be hard work. So what I will do is And so I'm thinking, why don't I do a few live streams with them and just watch them together? Because I've got the tools to be able to do that anyway. So yeah, watching the defective. Yeah, you're not wrong there. I'm being defective. But anyway, what I will do is I will now leave you all to do what I will do. And I promise my beloved daughter, this will be the first one just for you, dedication for you. And I shall do it for next week. So what I will do, that's what I will do is I will make sure that this is the first one. And then I'll feel better, because I feel a bit guilty letting my daughter down, but you know how it goes. So what I will do is I will bid you farewell. Have a lovely weekend, and I've just noticed it's getting a bit dark up here now, so it's probably a good idea. So what I'll say is have a lovely weekend, and hopefully see you next week for another Friday frolic, and have a lovely weekend, and take care, my friends, and see you soon, and yeah, have a lovely weekend. So bye for now, and take care.